If you're thinking of all of the Ogerpon forms, in your head you're probably thinking that 3 of these forms have a lot of usability, being the Cornerstone form, which is a great enabler for Trick Room teams, the Hearthflame Mask form, which is a really good enabler on Tailwind offense, and the Wellspring form, which is just a really splashable form overall. But what you're probably not considering is that there's also a lot of merit in using just the teal form of Ogerpon, which today we're going to be showing off why teal form of Ogerpon is actually a really respectable threat in Regulation F, and why you might want to consider using it on your team. If you enjoy the content at any point in time, consider subscribing. It's just a free way to support the channel. You get updated on regular content daily. Also, consider becoming a channel member for just a couple dollars a month to get some nice bonus content, such as today's video that's going to be going live for all of the best Pokemon that just were introduced in Regulation F or the newly available viable Pokemon that just got buffs. With all that said though, let's start off with our first threat in the team being none other than Gouging Fire, which today is going to be rocking a Booster Energy Protosynthesis attack set with Burning Bulwark, Breaking Swipe, Dragon Dance, and Heat Crash. This proves to be a very phenomenal breaker in the Sun aspect of our team, which I'll get into down the line, and it's a great support piece for the Teal Pawn as well. Overall, this thing can prove to be a very good win con, and it can take advantage of the support the Teal Ogerpon might give when it's not trying to just win the game by killing every single water type in existence. With Tera Grass, we're able to take on a lot of Pokemon more easily that would otherwise be threatening our Fire Dragon typing. This would be Pokemon like Landorus, Therian, and other really common ground types like Landorus Incarnate as well. Really, the best ground types right now are Landorus forms, and this Tera Grass helps a lot with them. And this proves to just be a very solid partner for our next Pokemon, being the Teal Mask Ogerpon, which is going to be a Focus Sash set. With your ability Defiant, you can take on Incineroar extremely easily, and with Superpower and Ivy Cudgel, you honestly hit everything you need. For our third move, we're going to go with Follow Me, which should help a lot with the setup aspect of our Gouging Fire. And with our fourth move, Spiky Shield, this is a great form of Protect that can punish a lot of common Fake-Out users. Moving on, we have a Rocky Helmet Tornadus with Terra Steel. Now, I will say, I forgot to mention this earlier, but this team was actually built by my good friend Hopeless, who ended up doing an incredible job. I typically am not a huge fan of Rocky Helmet Torn, but I can't lie, its presence on this team is very good, because when we're trying to get a really good aggressive lead, a lot of people are going to just ignore the Tornadus and instead maybe go for a partner like Teal Ogerpon or Gouging Fire on lead, which should give us a lot of merit to just clicking Tailwind without having to fear having ran a Covert Cloak for no reason. With Terra Steel as well, we can get a nice resistance to a lot of common Pokemon that might be going for Ice-type moves, or even just get a neutrality to Pokemon going over moves like Thunderclap, and it should just be a great way to punish most opposing threats overall. With this very physically defensive Tornadus, it's going to help a lot with also, more importantly than anything, a lot of the common E-Speed Pokemon, since now it's no longer just Dragonite, and we also have to worry about the Arcanine Hisui form, and also Entei, which are all prolific E-Speed partners to Champao. And with Tailwind, Protect, Sunny Day, and Bleakwind Storm, this proves to be an invaluable asset to this team that will hopefully enable a lot of wins. Moving on to Flutter Mane, this actually proves to be rather simple. We're going to run dual stabs with Shadow Ball, Dazzling Gleam, and Moonblast here, all of which are going to prove to be very prolific on this team. And with this max speed, max special attack Flutter Mane, it's just going to be a really good late game cleaner. Typically, I'm not a huge fan, if I was to run this team in, let's say, a tour, of running a really just max speed, max special attack timid Flutter Mane, as I do typically prefer these special attack boosters. But Speed Booster has a lot of merit in this current format, especially since we now have Iron Boulder, which is on the rise, as well as a lot of other prolific, very fast Pokemon in this format. So the booster speed is actually a lot more usable in Regulation F than it was in Regulation E, where you really need to focus on really heavy wall breaking. And honestly, we have a lot better wall breakers now on the special side anyway, especially in our last couple Pokemon. So a late game cleaning Flutter Mane makes a lot of sense here. For our final move, Misty Terrain, this should help a lot with enabling our priority user in the back, as well as just clearing through any sort of psychic terrain that could otherwise give us a hard time due to the fact this team lacks a strong dark type presence. Overall, if I need to trade Flutter Mane to get rid of the Iron Crown Indeedee matchup, I fucking will. It's a great partner and a great way to do so. Moving on, we have a really prolific ground type in the format, being Landorus Incarnate. I've hyped this Pokemon up a lot as both the bane of my existence and a really nightmare ground type in this current gen, because of the fact that Sandsear Storm and Earth Power are both so spammable in the most common viable Pokemon. With Sludge Bomb being a great coverage option to a lot of different Tera Grass or just native grass types, and then we have Protect as a good way to scout and our Tera Poison to gain a nice check to Flutter Mane in the process and Rillaboom as well, this proves to just be a really damning presence. And with our final Pokemon being none other than Raging Bolt, being a strong Assaultless attacker, we can really make a lot of mileage out of this last trio of special attacking threats. Now, don't let the fact that this Pokemon has 2 really supportive moves in Electric Wave and Snarl fool you. This is a really strong special wall breaker, and with the Protosynthesis special attack as well as our Assault Vest, it's really hard to kill before it can end up claiming a kill against your own team. With Tera, Grass is going to be a great check to Pokemon like Landorus, especially in the Incarnate form that would deal a lot of damage to us, and our Assault should help only even more with trying to take these kind of hits. With Thunderclap and Dragon Pulse as well as two really strong spammable stab options, this proves to be not only a great support Pokemon that can enable a lot of our offensive threats, especially the Gouging Fire, but it also can just be a good win con if I need to, because a lot of Pokemon on the tier will just struggle to kill us due to its incredible typing. The final code's going to be on screen as well as the link in the description below to the team itself if you want to try this out yourselves. And with that said, let's get into our matches for the day. All right, we're here today with our first new team that we're using in a while. I have a whole batch with like 4 different teams, and this happens to be one of them. Definitely a pretty scary matchup for sure, though, to start off the video. We're taking on a pretty decent balance. My guess is that's honestly, this one really could go either way for Rapid versus Single Strike. Like, I definitely feel like one of these Pokemon used to be a Tornadus on this team. My guess is it was Wellspring. Wellspring was most likely a Tornadus in some other life, and now it's just kind of here for redirection for maybe like, I don't even know, maybe Calm Mind Raging Bolt. I can't actually put my finger on it. I'm looking over to the team really quickly. I don't really know this team, I'm gonna be honest. But the Tailwind is really nice. I do like Tailwind a lot against the Dual Grass. And Superpower could be a decent way around Incineroar. I think that Tailwind lead with Tornadus actually is going to get me a lot of mileage too. I think for my back line, I'm going to probably go with, I like this Gouging Fire a lot, and I could definitely see it being my Terramon. I don't think I'll Tera Tailwind in this game, and I'd be shocked if I Tera in this video, frankly. As for the last one, I feel like Raging Bolt has like some merit here. I also do like the Flutter Mane though. I think Flutter Mane is slightly safer. Just because, frankly, it's a fast Pokemon, and on this particular team, Hopeless actually ended up making this a max spread, so good on them. And honestly, it's going to put in a lot of work, frankly, because on ladder, I feel like it's a lot better of a spread. In most cases, unless if your team needs something specific for a speed benchmark or has a weakness to some specific offense, typically just going max and Flutter Mane on ladders is honestly pretty fine. It's really not that bad. So my opponent will most likely probably go for some sort of fake out on this turn. I'm kind of okay with that. Even if they fake out my Tornadus, I'm kind of okay with that because they're going to take unnecessary Rocky Helmet damage. I do think they're going to target my Ogerpon though. I think my Ogerpon is definitely, in my opinion, the biggest threat that I have. But we're going to go for Tailwind here though. I think the Tailwind plus Spiky Shield play is really nice. If they do go for the fake out into my Ogerpon to try and take it out quicker, so be it. I don't think they will. I think they're going to assume that I have... Actually, no, I think they'll make that play specifically because I'm assuming they're going to think that my Tauren is Covert Cloak and that it doesn't have any merit in faking out. Which is great for me because I'm Rocky Helmet and there is a huge risk to me not going for any sort of, I guess, play around this. But I do think that the momentum I gain from not clicking Protect this turn is objectively very important. So I would much rather just go for the Tailwind. And as you can see, it worked out pretty well. So I'll definitely take it. Was it the safest play? Not really. I think I had a safer one, but again, I don't really think that there was merit in not making this sequence of plays because now I have a much better field position, and there's a good chance I'll lose Tornadus too, which honestly benefits me a lot. Getting rid of Torn here is a really good thing for me because I've already gotten on my Tailwind, and I don't really need Sunny Day this matchup, though it's not a bad thing if I can get it set up. It does look like I'll be able to get a Sunny Day set up, so I might go for that, though at the same time, I can't lie actually. I feel like, I know I said earlier I probably wasn't going to Tera Tailwind, but I feel like Tera Tailwind actually might get me a lot of mileage here. So I'm going to Tera Tailwind, and I'm going to go for the Ivy Cudgel, and I'm going to go for it right in the Flutter Mane. Meanwhile, I think I am going to go for the Sunny Day, because once I do go for this, I can guarantee I'll pace Flutter Mane, even if it is going to be some... Actually, hold on. Let me do my mental math real quick. 56. Never mind. I don't actually need to make that play. I should be able to just guarantee take it out. I can't imagine that this thing takes it, especially at +1, so I'm just not going to burn my Tera yet, and I'm going to go for the Sunny Day. I was a little bit worried about Speed Boost Flutter Mane, maybe outpacing, but thankfully it doesn't. I forgot about that entirely when making that play, and I almost Tera'd my Tailwind unnecessarily. They're going to go into Raging Bolt here, though. Raging Bolt is honestly fine. I am a little bit annoyed that I gave this thing a Protosynthesis boost now, but I'm not really too scared of the Pokemon anyway, so I'm kind of okay with this. Plus, the +1 Ivy Cudgel will deal a lot of damage, and while I do need to fear the Thunderclap incoming, not really too scared of the Pokemon, and my opponent's actually just going to kind of let me roll with this anyway, which only works out that much better. Now, what I'll probably end up doing is I'm most likely going to go for the Taunt into the Raging Bolt here, and then I'm just going to Ivy Cudgel into what's most likely going to be a Flutter Mane coming in, because now they need to bring back the Incineroar at some point, and they don't really have a great counter to my Ogerpon. They're going to bring in Urshifu here. Urshifu's perfect. Oh my goodness, that could not have been better. They're going to prove to be a leftovers set on Raging Bolt as well, which is amazing. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for the Ivy Cudgel here. I'm gonna claim my kill into Urshifu, and then I'll go for a Bleakwind Storm meanwhile, just in case my opponent switches here. I'm not really sure if they will or won't. They're gonna Aqua Jet my Torn actually, which is great because it didn't even kill. So if they're Sash Urshifu as well, they essentially just sent their Urshifu to its deathbed, which could have actually mattered a lot because Urshifu was a really damning Pokemon for us. Now, thankfully though, my opponent has left me in a position where I most likely will be kind of okay. We're gonna miss our Bleakwind here. I don't really mind though. Dilbon already has gotten me so much good offensive positioning. I'm kind of okay with this. We're not even gonna get brought down directly to Focus Sash, which honestly, if Dragon Pulse did that little, I'm kind of scared for my opponent at how little Thunderclap is gonna do, because that's an actual resisted hit. It's not as strong base power wise anyway. I don't even know if that's gonna kill. Like, I don't even think I'm in range, to be completely honest. Which is objectively, I mean, that's huge. What I'm gonna do here though, we've seen special attack booster on Fluttermane too. I have 2 turns of Tailwind, right? I have 1 turn of Tailwind. Okay. So then I do kind of need to go for this kill now with Ivy Cudgel, but that's okay. I'm not really too concerned with that because I can. Well, actually, no, wait. I have a smarter play. I have a much smarter play. We're gonna go for dual protect here with Spiky Shield and protect because at this point I've now already killed the Urshifu, which is huge, and I can proceed to go for a Tailwind on the following turn, which I think will benefit me a lot more in long term because I can guarantee that Tailwind does stay up and I can force the Raging Bolt to actually Thunderclap me. I'm kind of okay with all of that. That's all gonna really just benefit me in the long term because I'll be able to get a nice board state set up for my Gouging Fire, which, as I said, it's a much better Terramon here because I can get around the Raging Bolt safely, and I can just start going for really strong raw attacks. Now, if my opponent does proceed to Thunderclap into my Ogerpon instead, again, there's no real guarantee that this will kill, so I'm kind of okay with that. And again, the board state will just be a lot better for us long term. So we'll go for an Ivy Cudgel here. I think the Ivy Cudgel here is going to be a great play, and then we'll go for a Tailwind this turn. Now that Fluttermane is definitely dead. There's no way in hell this Fluttermane lives, but that implies that my Ogerpon doesn't die, so a little bit of a gray area here. We'll see if that ends up working out for us. I think it will, but we'll have to see. They're going to probably Thunderclap though. Yep, they're going to Thunderclap into my Ogerpon. It does manage to kill. It's a little unfortunate, but I'm not too concerned. Honestly, I feel like Ogerpon's already done plenty. It killed the Urshifu, which was a huge threat to us. And on top of it as well, we now have a nice position to where I can win off of Gouging Fire. So again, I feel like we've done our job at this point. Looking at my backline though, Gouging Fire will definitely be a good win con here. As for my other my Fluttermane should also deal a lot of damage to that Raging Bolt. They can't Tera around us anymore. So what I can actually probably do is I can just go for Heat Crash here, and then I can go for a Moonblast and just start claiming lives. I mean, this will start just doing a ton of damage to my opponent's team, and they can't really do a lot to us. So I think that'll be our play. I don't even think I need to Gleam either, because I feel like realistically we're just in such a good position clicking specifically Moonblast. So I'm going to take advantage of that. We're going to proceed to go for a Heat Crash here, and I'm just going to claim my kill into Fluttermane, because that will objectively kill Fluttermane. Meanwhile, oh, and actually, hold on. I do need to go for my Tera Grass. I know that there is an Incineroar in the back. I'm kind of okay still clicking Tera Grass here, because it's more to get around the Dragon type move that Raging Bolt will click. And while I do think there is merit in actually being wary of Incineroar, I'm going to choose to ignore it for the sake of this. It's a little bit more convenient if I ignore Incineroar, I can't lie. And I think I have the tools to where that's kind of a fine play to be making, so I'm going to still make it and just assume that Incineroar is not really a threat. And again, it's mostly just for convenience sake, frankly, because if I can take out this Raging Bolt here, I think I can get a position to where even if my opponent, let's say, goes for a Fake Out into Raging Bolt to Gouging Fire on the following turn, that I'm not really going to get punished for it, because my Fluttermane will objectively be the larger threat here. So this Heat Crash is going to go off. It's not going to do a lot of damage, but it's going to do enough, frankly. And even if Incineroar does target me, I'm still kind of okay with that. So from here, this Heat Crash should do good damage. Yeah, I mean, that's already almost half, which is insane. That's genuinely insane damage to think about. Now, Fluttermane's Protosynthesis speed will wear off as well as the Gouging Fires, but it's okay because Gouging Fire is going to have a booster energy. So it's just going to get reactivated anyway, which is already really huge for us. So we're going to get our nice speed boost yet again. Well, actually, no, I think this is now a speed boost. I don't think it was before. I'm pretty sure we're normally attack boosting. Yeah, we're normally attack boosting. Okay, that's good to know. Definitely good to know. It's still going to be fine in all honesty. I could proceed to just go for a... I think I'm going to go for a Dragon Dance here. Or I could go for a Burning Bulwark and just preserve health in this. Yeah, I'm gonna go for Burning Bulwark and Preserve Health on this, and then I'll go for a Moonblast here, and I'm just gonna go for it right into that Incineroar, as I'm not really too concerned with the Raging Bolt here. I actually think it will switch out into Flutter Mane, most likely, because I think that my opponent will probably want to just try and take his turn to maybe kill my Gouging Fire, or at least punish Gouging Fire. They might just dual target that as well. Again, I'm not really too concerned with the Gouging Fire dying though because of Burning Bulwark, so I'm gonna play as if they're gonna target that. I think it just benefits me more. They're gonna go for Thunderclap. It doesn't even deal a lot of damage, though they didn't go for Fake Out, which is a little bit concerning, I can't lie. Thankfully though, it doesn't matter, and we end up killing them anyway, and I can proceed to just go for Heat Crash right into my opponent's Flutter Mane on the following turn, and then also just go for a Moonblast right into the Raging Bolt as well. And those two plays should get me a ton of mileage because my opponent can't actually take the Heat Crash. We're just too heavy, and it's just too good of an attack. Actually, hold on, at -1 maybe they can. I might need to dual target that Flutter Mane, but I'm still kind of okay with making that play, because that just means that I'm not really taking anything from the Raging Bolt. So this should still work out fine for me in all honesty. We know the Flutter Mane is special attack boosting on their side, so I should guarantee get off both of these attacks before they even get a single attack off. And yeah, overall, just taking out that Flutter Mane, which is most likely a spec set, will get me a really good position for the following turn, where I can then proceed to just go for a Breaking Swipe plus Moonblast until Raging Bolt dies. Because thankfully they went for Protect. Why they went for Protect, I do not know, but they went for Protect here. And yeah, this sequence right here of going for the Moonblast as well really is going to help a lot. And this is where, while I could have went for Gleam, I think Gleam would have been fine in all honesty, in hindsight. But I think that the Moonblast did give us a little bit more of a luxury to click Burning Bulwark on this turn. Not that it was super needed, but it was definitely a nice convenience to have. We're just going to go for Breaking Swipe here, though, and then I'm going to go for Moonblast. And we're just going to let the Raging Bolt forfeit the game because they're not going to finish this out. Perfect. Okay, so we got a nice board state already. Nice 1-0 win. Very strong start to the video. And we'll see you guys in game number 2. Moving on to team number 2, we are taking on a team consisting of Hitmontop, not Raging, well, actually, yes, Raging Bolt, but that wasn't the mon I was looking at. Walking Wake, Whimsicott, Gastrodon, and Flutter Mane. Overall, a pretty decent team. Great Tailwind matchup, I'm going to be honest. Very great Tailwind Torn lead. Right off the bat, I don't think this will be a game where I'm going to aim for Sunny Day, though. I don't think I need my boosts, and I think, frankly, they'll set it up for me anyway. We're going to definitely be bringing Gouging Fire here. I feel like Gouging Fire is really good into their team. Actually, is Gouging Fire good? I feel like that's kind of a little bit nuanced. Gouging Fire is both really good and really bad here. I think I'll actually get more mileage out of Raging Bolt, I'll be honest, and then I'll bring Flutter Mane for sure. This is definitely not a game I would bring Landers to. It's probably the last game I would bring Landers to. But I do think that Raging Bolt with Assault Vest could actually maybe be a good defensive Tera here. Yet another great Tera Grass user, and realistically, I think it could be a good lure to Walking Wake, or even just a nice option to revenge it with Thunderclap. I think that will get me a lot further in this match than Gouging Fire will. So we'll go with that. Tealpon should be such a great opener, though. I might even burn a Tera on this, to be honest, because Tealpon realistically could actually deal a lot to my opponent. The one issue, I guess, will probably be the Whimsicott, maybe going for like an Encore. But other than Encore Whimsicott, I mean, I'm not really too scared of this team. And honestly, if I see Whimsicott, I might even just go as far as to go for Bleakwind immediately, as long as Hitmontop doesn't also lead. And even still, I mean, I'd probably just go for like Bleakwind plus Spiky Shield into then some sort of option to revenge. But yeah, Tealpon realistically only really has to fear like the specific lead duo of Hitmontop and Whimsicott, which is actually a really passive lead anyway, and it sets me up well regardless. They're going to go with the Walking Wake and Whimsicott here. So this is a much better lead for us, actually. I can proceed to just go for a taunt, well, not a taunt, a Tailwind straight away, followed by a Tera Grass Ivy Cudgel here, and I can just massacre that Walking Wake. They can't really do a lot to stop this, actually. It should be an overall very good lead for us aggressively turn 1. And it gets me a lot of mileage. I mean, that Ivy Cudgel is going to do a ton of damage to Walking Wake despite being a neutral target. We'll be able to get a plus, well, not a +1. We'll get a +1 speed boost, which should be great. Especially in case they set up like a Sunny Day. I mean, regardless of whatever play they go for, though, no matter what, my Tealpon will outpace. Because even if they're Scarf, let's say, for some reason they're Scarf Walking Wake of all things, I still guarantee creep. So this should be a nice, just really good high crit move that I can just click right into that Walking Wake for solid neutral damage. Unlike the other Paradox forms of this trio, it's a really good neutral hit instead of being super resisted. So we're going to be able to get off a nice high crit move that's going to be stab boosted and just hit really fucking hard. My opponent's going to go for Tailwind here, that's fine. We're also going to go for Tailwind here, and that should get us back on the same playing field. Their Walking Wake can guarantee not kill me, meanwhile I can do a lot of damage to them, as we're going to see here with the Ogerpon, of course. This Ivy Cudgel is going to hit for immense damage, and it does not kill, but it gets us into a really good position. They're going to Hydro Steam my Tornadus, actually, which I'm very okay with. We actually take that very well. I'm kind of shocked at how well we take that. And then I'm just going to proceed to click Ivy Cudgel again. I'm going to click Ivy Cudgel and I'm going to click Bleakwind. If they Encore me into Tailwind, that's fine. I'm kind of okay with that because they're trading the Walking Wake to do that instead of trying to break my Focus Sash and just set themselves up for a better state. Also, even if they go for some sort of Tera around my Ivy Cudgel, I'm kind of fine just clicking this move all game, even if they Encore my own Ogerpon into it. They're going for Sunny Day here. That's fine. I still outpace, so they cannot outpace me. And this is just a very free turn for us. I'm assuming that this play is more so to enable the Raging Bolt in the back, which is a very fair option for them. But I'm kind of okay with that too, because it just enables my own Paradox Pokemon in the back like Flutter main. So it doesn't really concern me, and Tailwind's just going to kind of go off. I mean, I do really think that we honestly have already won the game here. I don't want to get cocky, but I can't really see a state where they win. Sash Whimsicott, totally fine. I'm going to be honest, I feel like it's the only reason you click the second turn of status here is if you're Sash Whimsicott, because otherwise it's kind of a wasted play. Especially because, again, there's not a lot of merit in really trying to set up that Raging Bolt when it benefits my team a lot too, because I'm running triple Past Paradox Pokemon. They are going to get the Protosynthesis and the Flutter main though, which is special attack boosting. So yet again, another Pokemon that really does not care about this Sun Boost being up. It's very convenient for damage, sure, I'll give them that. But like, it really just kind of loses them the game because my Pokemon are always just better set up for this. So Tealpon just gonna click Ivy Cudgel yet again, and yeah, Torn Tealpon just feels like a very good lead here. I mean, to be fair, it's just a product of them having like dual water on their team, but their team should just kind of drop to this. Even if my opponent does Tera, they would have to Tera something that's gonna resist grass, otherwise just, oh, Tera Fire. Okay, you know what? That's a Tera that might do it. I will say, that's a Tera that could actually put some threat. And as long as I hit Whimsicott though, I'm not really too concerned, because even if my opponent does go for some sort of Mystical Fire or Dazzling Gleam, I still have a Focus Sash, and I'm kind of okay with this. Plus, we already did half, which is bad shit. We did half to a Fire type with a Grass move. Back in Generation 8, that would never, unless you click Dynamax. But it's funny though, they get the crit. They get the crit, I do not. Thankfully though, they are going to also boost our offensive stats thanks to Defiant. So, oh no, right, we're in the Teal Mask form, so we don't actually get the boost. They Dual Avoid, kind of sucks, I can't lie. But it is whatever. Thankfully though, they don't hit my Tealpon, so I'm kind of okay with that. Let's see, so I think I could just go for another Ivy Cudgel in all honesty, just claim my kill. And then I can go for a Bleakwind Storm here and just try and claim my kill that way as well. I feel like there's really not a lot stopping me from doing this because, yeah, again, my opponent is Special Attack Booster. And despite the fact they are Tera Fire, I don't really think I need to drop my offensive stats yet. With Superpower, we already saw that I did about half, and honestly, if they really are going to go for another Mystical Fire, I'm kind of okay with that because either Tornadus will get another hit, or I guess I'll lose both if they target the Torn instead this turn. I don't know. It doesn't really matter, frankly. Like, Tealpon will still probably just kill with Ivy Cudgel. And we're going to claim yet another kill thanks to the Grass Tera Tealpon. Worst case scenario, I just set myself up really well for an endgame because I'll have really weakened Flutter main and a dead Walking Wake. But it doesn't look like that's even going to matter. Flutter main did in fact die, which is amazing for us. And my opponent's going to be kind of just in a bad position here because now that Whimsicott is also dead and Tealpon just kind of goes off. There's definitely some things they could have in the back that might be able to claim a kill here. For example, some sort of Hitmontop that's really bulky might be able to take this, especially if it does end up dodging Bleakwinds. So that definitely could be an out for them, I guess, if they get really lucky. Gastrodon could maybe have, if they save Tera for that. That could have actually been a really threatening Pokemon. But thankfully, though, again, they didn't really do that. So we're going to go for the Ivy Cudgel here, and I'm just going to claim my last kill. For the sake of showing it in this match, I'm just going to throw Raging Bolt out. You know, just kind of a BM move, I'll be honest. But I'm going to let Tealpon get the last kill. And I don't really want to let some sort of Rindoberry Gastrodon take that from me. If they really do go for like a Rindoberry Gastrodon and they actually manage to take that hit somehow and they do revenge off my Ogerpon, fuck you, I guess. But I'll just go for Dragon Move into that in the following turn. So I'm not really too concerned here. Torn is going to withdraw though. We're going to proceed to go into our Raging Bolt this turn. And Raging Bolt should be able to just get us a really good win here because it's just going to exist. And at this point in the game, you know, when we're up 1-4, sometimes that's all you have to do. When you have a Grass type that has really high offensive stats and a 0 drawback move against a 4x Grass Weak Pokemon, well, you just have to click the Grass move to win the game. Like, it's just not that difficult. I was about to say it's not that simple, but no, in this case, it really is just that simple. Tealpon just happened to do a lot of work. And we managed to get a nice 2-0 for this video. So, great video overall. We managed to put in a lot of work with the Tealpon, and I'll honestly take it. hopefully you guys enjoyed, and if you want to see more content like this, leave a like and subscribe for more. With that said, of course, check out the channel memberships as well. We do have a video going up later today. I'm gonna try and ideally I'm gonna remember to put it up at probably 5 p.m. We're gonna say 5 p.m. Whether it goes up at 5 p.m. or like 8 p.m. or like 7:57 p.m. like that's to be determined. But we're gonna say 5 p.m. So if you want to become a channel member, you get a nice bonus video. We're going to go over the best Pokemon in Regulation F that you guys can be looking forward to, specifically the best new Pokemon. So if that interests you, of course, click on the channel membership below. It's just a couple dollars a month, and it's a great way to support the content. Shoutouts to our current members, of course, Zeke, Mia, Rausakura, Obo, Endless Gadgets, Josh Shiggy Ultra Player, Incog M, and Vincent Wee, who is a bigger fan of the channel. Your guys' support is greatly appreciated, and again, consider joining the memberships. Or at worst case, check out the socials. We have Twitter, Discord, all that jazz down below. And with that said, I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. We have a very interesting Screamtail team to be showing off with Screamtail and Metagross. Until then, peace out, guys.